today I'm going to show you a super simple recipe for the softest and fluffiest breakfast or brunch pancakes. You can find several ways to making the fluffiest pancakes, and what I'm going to show you today is one of mine where it is really quick for those full-time working busy mothers. I use a blender for my recipe and I start by cracking open one free-range egg. This is followed by about 3 by 4 cup of fresh cow's milk. I use dairy, but you could by all means substitute this with soy or almond milk. This is followed by 1 whole very ripe banana. The riper the banana, the sweeter your pancake is going to be. You could add some vanilla essence at this point, but I feel my banana cinnamon pancake is flavorful enough, and so I'm not doing that. So I go ahead and get my dry ingredients in, starting with a cup of all-purpose flour. This is followed by about 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Now 3 teaspoons might seem a lot, but this is the secret of getting the softest and the fluffiest pancake, so you've got to be generous with your baking powder. Following this, I go ahead and add some freshly ground cinnamon, and this cinnamon depends on the flavor that you require. Mine was freshly ground at home. After this, I go ahead and give these all a very quick blend. I really do not blend it for too long because I do not want all of that air to escape. But at the same time, I want to reduce the amount of time I spend with these pancakes. You could also simply just use a whisk and a bowl and give them a good stir. Next, go ahead and place a non-stick pan or a heavy bottom iron cast, if you have one, onto your stove, and you get your butter block opened and ready for your pancakes. One thing to note here is that the all-purpose flour that I've used for my recipe is a whole grain version, and because of which you might notice a bit of a color change for my final recipe, but you are open to use the routine all-purpose flour if that's what you have. After you've given a few seconds for your pan to heat up, you add about 1 teaspoon of butter and let that just melt. I'm going to scoop out about 1 cup of the pancake batter onto the pan. Now I like my pancakes a little bit runny and thin, but if you would like to have a bit more of a fluffier version, you could by all means make your batter a little bit more thick. So once you've poured the batter, you're just going to let them spread on their own and not disturb it with your spatula. And in a few seconds you would notice a few bubbles forming over the batter, and that is when you know that your batter is ready to be flipped over. The process becomes easier once your pan has become nice and warm following the first pancake you've made. So then you go ahead and repeat the process again with your butter brush and 1 cup of batter again, and let it bubble before you flip it over. Now there are so many varieties of pancakes that you could make, which is a variation of the traditional one, and instead of doing the banana and cinnamon, you could also add some blueberries into your final batter, or even some chocolate chips to make it a little bit more entertaining for your children. You could also add some sugar into the batter if you like it really sweet, but I prefer the natural taste of bananas and the natural topping that I would add at the end of this recipe. Now clearly it's time for me to invest in a new pan, but regardless, I go ahead and finish my breakfast recipe and get a few more pancakes done for me and my family. And this recipe would make about 8 to 10 pancakes depending on the size of the pancakes that you would desire. Further to this, I go ahead and place them on top of each other over a plate and get them ready to be garnished. Like I've mentioned before, the whole grain flour that I've used have given this brown texture to my pancakes. I just feel it was better to use that rather than using the all-purpose flour. And also the cinnamon powder gives a brownish texture, but at the end of it, the flavor is all worth it. You go ahead and top this with a butter block and your favorite topping if you would like one. And what I use here is a bit of fresh organic honey. You could also go ahead and use some maple syrup or even some date syrup if that's how you like it. Or you could also serve these without any topping at all, because it has this beautiful flavors of the banana and the cinnamon that you added into your batter. I hope you've liked my simple banana and cinnamon pancake recipe today. If you'd like me to try more variations of the traditional pancakes, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and please like, share and subscribe to my channel.